Okay, so it finally is staying light long enough at 8 p.m. here on the East Coast in New Jersey that I can go live outside walking the beach. I don't know if the rain's gonna hold out, but I'm getting my grounding in and steps in because today was a very full day where I couldn't get my steps in. I had a funeral viewing to go to, which was an hour away. Had my mom with me and had to meet up with some dear friends, and the day got away from me and I said, I gotta get back, do my live and get my steps in. So I decided just to do a Q&A. I was gonna do an entire, I was gonna do an entire video tonight, originally planned on dry eye, because dry eye is such a large problem, overwhelming problem for so many, and I thought it'd be really good to do a real simple but clear explanation of types of dry eye and how I feel that we can get to the root cause and really help out, as opposed to just throwing those lubricant drops in our eyes non-stop to get some relief. But stay tuned, I am planning that. Got so many in the works, and just gotta get the time. So I decided that since this is sort of a night for just an ask me anything kind of Q&A, that I would just take your questions. Oh, hi, I see some of you from my groups. This is awesome. My groups are just starting into the summer challenge, and the first of the challenges that were dealt out in my welcome email are underway. So I'm so happy to see you all surviving and joining in here. Let's see, so let me scroll back and see if anybody has a topic or questions. Oh, you have dry, oh, Mojo Redneck, oh, Redbeak. Yeah, like I said, it's such a huge problem. I'm gonna get into the whole description and reasons why and how to treat it more naturally as you progress in this healthy way of eating, eliminating seed oils and sugars and grains to allow the healing to happen. But there's some really great things to do in the meantime. So I'm going to go over all of that, and you'll get a really good explanation and understand so much better what's happening with your eyes that are making them feel irritated, red, and dry. Doing carnivore since March, frequently get nausea randomly. Huh. That's interesting. I guess the best thing to do is really keep a journal just to try to understand when, is it after a certain amount of intermittent fasting? Is it after a certain amount of fat? And definitely remember that rendered or liquid fat tends to be much more nauseating. Meaning, like, for instance, if I cook an 80-20, let's say a half a pound of 80-20 in a pan, put it into a bowl and pour that liquid, luscious fat that is good for us, that we want to eat, over the meat, and I, with a spoon, eat the fat and the meat, that liquid rendered fat tends to cause some people some issues with nausea. But if I had put that bowl in the refrigerator and the next morning, which is commonly done, I go to eat the cold meat right out of the fridge with now the white, congealed, solid fat intertwined and mixed and layered kind of in there, and I eat the fat that way, not a problem. There's a lifeguard stand turned on its side. So remember, the same thing for some people with butter. Solid, cold, or frozen butter is perfectly fine, but a lot of liquid butter might cause a problem. So just journal and try to pay attention. Thanks, Trisha. I haven't done a beach talk in a while. I actually have done a lot of beach talks, walks and talks. Over on my Instagram, you scroll through my posts, there's a lot. I used to do them on Instagram, and now that I switched over to this weekly 8 p.m., like I said, this is really the first night now where I feel like we're going to get through June and July. It's going to be light enough that I have some daylight during my live. Let's see. Pam says she has bad dry eyes too. Yeah, so I think not next week, because hopefully next week's live, if I can figure it out, I'm going to have Fred Hahn on, who's the author with Michael Eads of the Slow Burn Personal Training. It's going to be really, really informative. He's such an expert on this technique and type of strength training, getting your muscles to be in the increase, gaining, as opposed to sarcopenia, wasting away, reducing, right? And the most effective way to do that and why. And yeah, I think it'll be great. I'm hoping and planning that it's going to be next week's Tuesday night live. But then after that, I will definitely get to the dry eye. And I'm going to do one on floaters too. That's such a common thing. Let's see. If I have dry eyes, will getting contacts make it worse? For some people, yes, because when you place a contact on the eye, the edge of the contact has to draw in tears. And so it takes a touch more tear. So for some people who have, let's say, borderline dry eye, they might run into a problem with the contacts. But I'll say this, there are a lot of contact lens companies putting a lot of money into their research and all their R&D to come up with contact lens material that is so beneficial as far as keeping the eyes wet and comfortable. So I would say don't give up on it. Try different ones. I know not all eye doctors are willing to do that. I am, because I want you to be able to be successful and happy with good vision and good comfortable eyes. That's one of the main reasons that people drop out of contact lens wear, is because of dry eye. So they are very diligently still researching all sorts of different polymers that will help for that. So so glad you're back. Safe. Please talk about eye pressure. Okay, well, intraocular pressure, IOP, if that goes up and stays up, it's termed glaucoma. There's different types of glaucoma. There's low pressure glaucoma. There's normal pressure glaucoma. But most all glaucoma, the majority of it, is when your pressure is high. There are a few teaspoons of fluid made and drained all on the inside of the eye. Made on the inside, goes through the pupil, filters out in the outer edge, the front of the iris, but all inside the eye, circulating every day. Pressure is highest in the morning, goes down throughout the day. Gotta make sure I don't get too far because it's gonna get dark soon. So let's test out the water. But basically with pressure, I have had people who are reporting to me that their pressure has improved with eating this natural ancestral diet. So yeah, some cold therapy too. It's not all that cold. I think it's about, I'm gonna guess, upper 60s. I don't know. I'll have to look it up. But yeah, yeah, here's my whole thing with eating, this way, where you take out all of the processed, manufactured, artificial foods out of our world and are only eating meat, seafood, eggs, let's say dairy, and even if you're having some fruits and vegetables, that is a normal, natural diet that your body's going to heal. So including being a glaucoma suspect and having high pressure. Let's see. Sardine fast. Do you find your ketones still go up with the bisque recipe? Yes, I did. So I am curious what others will find with that. But because basically, the very first recipe that I did is just sardines, a little bit of butter. I added some cod liver. So that's optional, and water. And just do a touch of apple cider vinegar, squeeze a lemon at the end if you want, and a little bit of spices. So basically you could just say it's sardines mixed, pulverized into a soup version. So I guess if you don't add too much well, there's really nothing in there that I could imagine would really blow you. The butter is good. High fat is good for ketosis. But you know what? Be your own N=1 experiment. That's the best thing to do. Maybe do a sardine fast with just the cans. Here, I'm going to show you this. Hang on. I don't know if the water will come up to this thing again. But no, it's not going to come up. Here, let's see if we can get her in the wave. We got to get her surfing. Here, let's get her. All right, now we got her surfing. Come on, we need a big wave. It's not coming. I think I'm going to have to bring this back. All right, enough of the surfer. I am going to bring it home because my cousin is coming to visit in August with her triplets, and they will have fun getting this little guy or girl to surf. So I was saying, yeah, do if you're in my summer challenge, you'll have plenty of opportunity if you want to hang in with the different weekly challenges, but maybe you do a sardine fast with just the tins of sardines, and then the following week do it solely with the soup and see what your experience is. Let's see. Oh boy. So what are your thoughts on coffee? Oh boy, that's opening up a can of worms. Is that a gallbladder problem? Oh, hi, Cindy Vonk. I love seeing you guys in here. Um, yeah, coffee's such a tough one because I am going to do an entire video on it just to lay out there my views on it, and then anytime somebody is curious or questions, I just direct you to the video. But you know, at the beginning, I drank coffee. I was addicted to the stuff. I don't think it's great for most people at the very beginning of this to make too many changes up front. Unless you have really significant health issues and you are at rock bottom and wanting to see the most changes as possible, as soon as possible, then yeah, I would clean yourself up down to like the lion diet. But yeah, you know, I say, well, keep the coffee for a little while if that's something you are holding on so tightly to and can't imagine life without it. I wanted to give up the drug. I didn't want to be addicted to anything. And then I gradually realized that it's really so not good for us. Other people who are addicted to it will tell you otherwise, but I will definitely make a video on that. You found some chicorons that are clean and tasty max. Yep. Omega-3 for dry eye. Yeah, so sardines can be beneficial. But you could eat, if you eat a crap diet, standard American diet, like most people, and you read about omega-3s being beneficial for dry eye, and you buy them, and you start popping the fish oil tablet, you know, capsules, and all the omega-3s you can find. I still say, unless you're really correcting the root cause, I haven't had anybody, I never have a patient come in and say, yeah, these omega-3s are working great. If omega-3s were the answer, then there wouldn't be millions and millions of people right now that currently have dry eye, still having dry eye. So there's that. It's not getting to the root cause, which all those seed oils, which are ruining your sebum and your meibomian glands. But I will discuss that. It's so good to get a visualization. I'm going to have diagrams and pictures, and when you really truly start to understand it, it's so much more impactful and easier to understand how the treatments are going to be beneficial. Let's see. Just had a chunk cut loose from my eye. Lots of floaters. Optometrist said things are over and fitting, checking again. Floaters are my new problem. Yeah, floaters can be a problem, but there's different things that can be done if they're very large and very obstructive to your vision. So thank you for making my life better. Thank you, Laura. Please appreciate all your hard work and advice. Thanks. I appreciate you, Laura. I appreciate so much. I get so empowered by having people who are enthusiastic to learn from my experience, from what I've been through and what I can convey to you that has helped me, and all of, I'm going to say it's over 1,000 now that I've been coaching over the past 12 years. And I'm like so charged up about this, both my ketosis challenge group, which has been May and now in June again, and then I started this summer health and weight loss challenge for June, July, and August, where I'm just so excited reading the hundreds of messages that are going back and forth in the chat, and people already sharing that they're dropping weight and that they're really coming to a much different and better understanding about themselves, their eating habits, the what, the when, the why of what we're putting in our mouths, and why we have to pay attention if we're stuck and not dropping weight and not feeling better. You know, there's a lot of other reasons. There's, you know, different things that can be happening in somebody's body as far as parasites and mold toxicity and that SIRS and all that, and Lyme. I mean, there could be undiagnosed problems, but for the most part, a lot of it comes down to a lot of people falling back into the ditch, making excuses, giving themselves permission, and that just leads to nowhere good, and it does not lead for you to get to your goal weight. I'm gonna sit down for a minute because I think it gets kind of annoying watching me bounce up and down. That way you can watch the waves back there, and then I can read this better. Okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna say, yeah, there are some extenuating circumstances for some people. Got some bugs out here tonight. The wind is not, it's not, you can see it's not windy, right? See my hair still? It's not common on the beach, so sometimes we get some little of those greenhead flies. But yeah, there's so much that can happen as far as not being able to get to our goals, but I gotta say, for the most part, for most people, it's because you just allow yourself to fall back into what I call your addiction, and fall back into carbs and bread and pasta and chips and cookies and chocolate and ice cream, and not really wanting really badly to feel good and to drop weight. But in those moments of being triggered and having it in front of you and being around people who are happy and laughing and encouraging you to, oh, look what we brought, and it's hard, and you have to understand that if you're going to keep allowing yourself to keep going back into that, you're going to stay where you're at. And that's why a lot of my meetings, especially during this summer challenge, are really centered on the emotions of the food and eating for entertainment, eating to fill an emotional void, eating out of stress, out of boredom, out of procrastination, even out of happiness. And with the support of the group and doing it together and staying on track together, just fantastic results. And it then propels you and empowers you to see the change and want it even more, and fight off the triggers and the temptations, because you're seeing how that's not going to lead you forward in your goals. So let's see. Let me see if I have any other questions, and then I will hop off of here and maybe just do a brisk walk before I head in. Hello. Oh, hi, Carrie. Carrie wants to get on the beach. Couldn't afford meat much since I'm going through financial mess. Had to go to hot dogs and bologna, butter and mackerel and eggs and liver. You know what's really inexpensive? Sardines. Hot dogs and bologna are very low carbs. Yeah, but realistically, I can buy some meat on sale cheaper than I can buy hot dogs. And yeah, sardines are very inexpensive, mackerel, and eggs kind of going all over the place, but they're typically, I just got a dozen for $1.89 yesterday, so that's really inexpensive. But this is really, you could just shop the sales. You can end up getting chicken thighs sometimes on sale for 99 cents a pound. You don't have to resort to bologna and hot dogs. Just keep looking. Been doing ketogenic carnivore 2 years. Can't get my fasting blood sugar in the morning. Doesn't ever get over 120. Should be worried. No, you're just going to keep letting your blood sugar do what it does, as long as you're feeling like you are sticking to, as best you can, eating meat, seafood, eggs, and just keep going. Don't get over obsessed with the numbers, and don't, like I tell somebody in the group this morning, said that they were really frustrated that they lost weight, but their glucose was 11 points higher today than it was yesterday, but they're down 4 pounds already. I'm like, okay, let's just ignore the glucose. You're getting healthier, you're eating optimally, don't worry about it. And I made this note, I can take 2 different glucose units, prick my finger, have 1 drop of blood, and put each of those units into the same droplet of blood, and I could get a reading 11 points different between the 2. It happens, and that's why I say don't obsess about any single number. Don't overthink it. We're looking for a trend over time. And, you know, for people who start doing multiple readings during the day and writing about little picayune changes and their ketones are only 0.7, and I'm like, well, that's ketosis, and they're losing weight. I tell people, you can lose weight and not be in ketosis. You just need to be in an energy deficit. So don't obsess with the numbers. We're using it as a tool. We're trying to use it over a period of time, months to month, year to year. What is your average numbers? We're not fussing over yesterday versus 2 days from now versus 2 days ago with this. It's really, though, very motivating to do it, especially if you're thinking, well, when I eat past 6 o'clock, my numbers are higher, and wow, I stopped eating after 4 on this day, and my glucose was awesome. So it's really a learning tool and used for comparatively long term. I try to tell people, do not, if you're going to obsess about them, then don't test at all. Just keep eating this healthy way, and eventually everything will be just fine. Yes, Jersey Shore, Valerie. This is Monmouth Beach, and up that direction is Sandy Hook, and Asbury Park is down in that direction, and it's really an amazing, fun vacation beach area to live in. Well, thanks, Tatiana. Get a wave. All right, Todd, I know. You see, I got some out here, right? I mean, I do. Todd is a carnivore friend of mine who I told him, he's a surfer and lives on the beach down in Ormond Beach, Florida, and I let him in. We had lunch together one day as I was driving down last winter. We had a little meetup, and yeah, I told him I'd have surfing on my bucket list, because why not, right? So I do have to find time to try to work on that. Let's see. I see they're writing jokes in here too, are we, Carrie? 494 days, no coffee or caffeine today for you. Wow, congrats. And, you know, some people say, oh, I gave it up, I didn't feel any better. You know what? This stuff is bathing your microbiome in caffeine is a pesticide, and there's 700 other components to coffee that are in that liquid. It's a seed, it's not a bean. So just keep remembering, if you keep wanting to level up, you eliminate, you know, sequentially what you feel like you're ready to eliminate. And if you're not ready yet, then keep drinking it. I'm not dogmatic. If you're doing great and you still drink it, and that's what you want to do even after reading the I put it in the in my groups. I have information that I give out on all different topics, and I do send out a couple really good coffee links that I really want people to read and watch and make your own decision. Let's see, what are your thoughts on latanoprost after stents? That it's so hard for me to answer specific medical questions, which number one, I can't really, and without knowing a lot more about you, because I mean, you're talking, I'm assuming, stents for glaucoma, not heart stents, and then people don't understand what I'm talking about. So, but that's something more that I discuss in one-on-one consultations. More and more people are catching on to this lifestyle, this way of eating. Absolutely, Johnny Boy Silver. I love the fact that I have, like, literally now like run into random people who know about this and are curious about it, and it's just great. Whereas before, it used to always be like looking at me like I had two heads if somebody asked why I was only eating meat. Day 6 of the Lion Diet, and my morning blurred vision in the left eye is gone. Wow. That's really pretty cool, O'Neill Brown. I actually have been keeping a whole log of people just like that who report on their own personal vision and ocular improvements and benefits from carnivore, and I'm going to put an entire video together with that. So maybe I should screenshot that now so I can remember to, there we go, put that in there. Have my first appointment with Dr. Cyrus tomorrow morning. I'm going to tell him how you have helped me. Aw, thanks. Yeah, he's great. I refer people to him, people who want to do a telemedicine call and have blood work reviewed and blood work ordered, and he's great. Thanks for the tough love. Yeah, I guess I've been kind of, I don't know, been getting to be known for the tough love. I am kind of blunt, to the point. I don't coddle. You know my saying of suck it up, buttercup, just do it. It's not easy. If this were easy, everybody'd have a flat stomach and be in perfect health. So yeah, sometimes you just really need that kick in the ass, and that's really why it's really what propelled me to put the work in to do this summer challenge, is to get people to understand, you know, you're going to have to do something different if what you've been doing all along isn't working. And I lay out a whole list in the welcome email, and throughout the meetings, we just are going to go through and talk, and as we do the challenge and as we learn a lot of different things about ourselves, and then start sharing them in the meetings. And it's just very, very powerful to be in a group like this and be on a similar mission and feel charged up by the others and yourself being part of it. It's just great. And I'm going to do I'm thinking about doing a carb sober holiday challenge from September through December to get people fired up about finally not falling in the ditch and not using the excuse of Thanksgiving pies and Halloween chocolate and the whole month of December, cookies, pastries, parties, drinking, and to make it through and see what it's like to make it through just really ancestrally without all of this toxic inflammatory crap. So donuts do not get a vote. No vote for donuts. Dr. Lisa, I've learned so much from you already. Can't wait for first meeting tomorrow night. I know somebody in the group said it was like like they couldn't wait, and I said it's kind of like waiting for Santa Claus, right? Like you're just anticipating, and everybody else in the meeting who already had their in the chat that already had their first meeting is all fired up with what we talked about. So tomorrow night, be ready. I'm all fired up for it. 1 year and 4 months, no coffee or caffeine. It's been a game changer. Wow. See, Carrie, I love reading things like that and having others read stuff like that, because so many people are like, no, I love my coffee. I'll never give my coffee up. Coffee doesn't bother me. I only have 2 cups in a day. I couldn't, I won't, I can't. That's what so many people do, and it's fine. You're not ready, and maybe you'll not ever be ready, but if you don't make a change, you can't make a change. And if you need to make a change, then you got to be willing to make a change. Boy, does that sound like a whole Abbott and Costello okay, let's see. Thank you. Where I am here in Texas, the meat prices are bananas. Yeah, I heard the meat prices are going up here too, and Yeah, this whole thing's really scary with what's happening with food supply and the agenda that's being pushed on us. Um, all right, let's see. Speaking of meat, I still find it hard to put 10 pounds of it in a 5-pound casing. Yeah, thanks, Tim. You're always good for that. So Tim is the husband of my cousin out in Ohio who loves to come on here and be the peanut gallery for me on my live. So I appreciate it. And actually the one live that I noticed he wasn't in here giving me his snark, his wonderful, beautiful sarcasm, I actually called him out on it. And I said, where the hell were you? So thanks, Timmy. Let's see, don't make me drop ship a board there. Yeah, that's right. I don't have a surfboard. I don't. So, but I don't know. I'm thinking about, I'm thinking about I gotta do the bougie surfing beginner boot camp out in Costa Rica or something like that. That'd be much more fun to video for social media, don't you think? So, all right, I am going to keep cranking on my walk and get a little more in because I have totally lost the sun and I still have the ocean to look at. I will see you next week. Like I said, hopefully next week is going to be really awesome on the weight training and building muscle, and it should be really good. Cross your fingers for me that I can figure out how to get a split screen on this live. So, all right, we'll see you next week.